Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm going to point out something that you probably have no idea about. With all of the media praise and the crypto media praise, and every time somebody wants to talk about crypto, they put a Bitcoin or an Ethereum person on CNBC, and all the talk and all the spotlight that Bitcoin and Ethereum have had, and the regulatory capture by the SEC, the free pass for Bitcoin and Ethereum. And look what happens over the last year. Bitcoin's up 13%, Ethereum's up 121%, and XRP's up 145%, with all the cards and the whole deck stacked against XRP. And you know what that means? That means the market knows. You can lie all you want. You can try to deceive all you want. But in the end, the truth finds its way up to the top. Always does. I tell my kids this all the time. Anything that's grounded in a lie is eventually going to fall to pieces. And that's what those two, and I will expound on that in this video, because proof of work doesn't work. It's been a lie I'll tell you what it is. It's been a prototype. And then it's been a Wall Street marketing machine that is just Bitcoin, 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 Ethereum, Ethereum, Ethereum. Ew, it's decentralized somehow. Nothing else is. All lies. And they still can't have a better return than XRP. Now, Link2 sent me this today. Today's offer, your choice of incentive. Invest in Ripple with your Uphold wallet today and receive $1,500 of Bitcoin. Or invest in any other Link2 offering and receive $1,000 of XRP into your Uphold wallet. These guys are being aggressive with their promotions. Good stuff. Go to linqto.com. I'm a customer and they're a sponsor too. Blockworks put this out. Just in, Google is exploring letting users store crypto in digital cards. You better believe Google's jumping into the game. Now, in my last video, I showed you this Empower news where Empower was filing an appeal over the SEC being unresponsive or whatever. John Deaton retweeted, he says, you can run, but you can't hide. So he knows what they're up to. Now, Charles Gasparino, a couple of days late, but he tweeted this out today. Scoop, Judge Netburn in the SEC versus Ripple has ruled on Ripple's request for privileged SEC docs in determining XRP as a security. Mixed ruling for Ripple, but judge says all drafts of former SEC official Bill Hinman's now famous speech on what constitutes a security will be admitted as evidence. Ripple is looking to show the Hinman speech indicated SEC bias in favor of the competitors such as Ethereum. Hinman has denied and states those comments were his own opinion, not official SEC opinion. Story developing. It will be interesting to see what comes out of that. Now I want to show you this. I saw this come across today from Cointelegraph. Crypto IRA iTrustCapital raises $125 million, pushes valuation over $1 billion. They said they're planning to expand their products and service line in addition to exploring strategic acquisitions. Let's see what it says. These are the guys that invested in them. They said, we're equally excited to partner with iTrustCapital to help support their mission to provide access to cryptocurrency and other alternative investment products through self-directed IRAs. iTrustCapital serves clients that seek. All right, we knew all that, but that's very interesting right there. I remember when these guys were just a young company. All right. Let me, I wanted to play you this. This is from the World Economic Forum in Davos this week. Listen to this.
The fourth industrial revolution, which came upon us in the last few years, has truly now shown itself in this last 2.5 years to be the only possible way to take away the poverty of the world, to support all the SDG goals that UN has set up by 2030. There is no other way but for us to serve the society, but in a very strong digital infrastructure that needs to be provided across the entire globe. Hans is right, billions of people are still not on internet. And why are they not on internet? Of course, partly because they don't have the coverage, but many people have the coverage, but not affordability. So in today's session, we also want to talk about affordability. If a country like India can provide very high quality, large dollars of data per month at $3, there's no reason why we can't carry this through into Africa and marginalized parts of the world where affordability is an issue. So
now listen to this last half, because a year ago, at least a year ago, everybody told me I was cuckoo and crazy because I said that I thought those Starlink satellites were being put up there partially to so that we could have digital currency that's being beamed down, and people in the middle of Africa or out in the middle of nowhere will be able to be in this digital system. Okay, and I'm going to prove it here, but listen to what he says.
Talk about affordability today as well. Then whatever we will do as an industry, whether it's Verizon or it's Airtel and many hundreds of other operators and mobile broadband providers and fixed providers, we will still not be able to reach the last billion.
Listen close.
In places which are almost impossible to cover by fiber, even with very large amounts of investments, we can't cover them through radio networks. And to do all that, about $425 billion are required in the next 9 years so that we have ubiquitous coverage for every citizen of this world. Thankfully, the advent of LEO-based constellations of satellites.
Hear what he said? He said LEO-based constellations of satellites. So remember those words.
Coming as a savior for the last 1 billion. We will be, and we are not talking about many years into the future, we are talking about months from now. We will be able to cover every square inch of the world, be that oceans, be that mountains, be that forests or deserts. Every square inch of the world will be covered.
Months from now, folks. All right. Now, what did he say? He said Leo and constellations, right? You think he's talking about constellations like this? The page you're looking at is the website of stellar.org. Okay? You think I've told you a year ago that I finally pieced it all together. When I interviewed Greg Kidd, for the first time I heard him say that this would be the first intergalactic currency. And over time I started to piece all this together. You got Elon, remember, you got PayPal back in 2013 announced PayPal Galactic, and then we never heard anything about it again. The guy that announced it was David Marcus, who at the time was at PayPal. He later left and went and created the Libra project, which is the Facebook, and now it's called Diem. He's left since then, but that was David Marcus. PayPal, when they first started, wanted to have a global currency. That's what they wanted to create. I've played you those videos. Elon Musk has an obsession with the letter X, and we just happen to have XRP and XLM. And I've shown you where Stripe, which was invested in by the guys from PayPal, was the first investor in Stellar, and they took 2% of the XLM as payment for their venture capital investment back in 2014, folks. I've shown you all the tie-ins. I was right all along. And it's XRP and it's XLM, and these are both going to be intergalactic currencies. I've shown you the commercial that Ripple did, where they're showing money that's beaming out in the middle of Africa. There's a picture of some people with an elephant, and then you see a guy in an astronaut, or a guy or a woman in an astronaut suit. Well, how are they beaming that down? They're doing it through those freaking Starlink satellites. But I'm not done. I'm going to prove it, folks. So this is, I always knew this, that's why it's called stellar, interstellar, okay, right? Well, and then you got Starlink, it's all, the X is everywhere, right? Then you have this. This is IBM. Remember, IBM partnered with Stellar a long time ago. Space Tech, transforming satellite launches with blockchain. I showed this a long time ago, but it's worth seeing again. SpaceX, set to launch 60 satellites for Starlink mega constellation. SpaceX designed Starlink to connect end users with low latency, high bandwidth, right? Okay, IBM and Cloud Constellation Corporation are working together to build a range of prototype solutions from edge computing space to exploring how blockchain can optimize the logistics and supply chain of the space tech industry. Cloud Constellation in partnership with, there you go, Leo Stella. Okay, then you can look down here. First of all, business network created among the following partnerships: Cloud Constellation, satellite manufacturer Leo Stella. And here you go, Leo Stella confirms delivery of Black Skies Earth observation satellites for SpaceX launch. Okay? I mean, folks, I'm telling you, Elon Musk and Stellar and XRP, I've always felt like SpaceX and all of that was a part of the same freaking project. I still believe it. Okay, Perion Boring from the Chamber of Digital Commerce was tweeting today about how blockchain-based cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin will help return America and the world to stable money. All she ever talks about is Bitcoin. So I retweeted her tweet and I said they should change the name to the Chamber of Bitcoin Commerce, because from what I can tell, this is not an industry organization. It is a Bitcoin and Ethereum organization, because they have not even weighed in. They're supposed to be this industry player that supports the industry, but from what I can tell, that's not happening. Okay, ProCoinNews.com, who is the official sponsor of the Digital Asset Investors Hunting and Fishing Club, right? They put this article out today. EPA tackles power plant crypto miners. And by the way, wait till you see what I'm about to show you, folks. But anyway, they're showing on January 11th, the EPA denied a request by Greenbridge's Bitcoin mining operation to continue using their coal ash pond for waste until 2023. How many times, folks? How many times do I have to tell you Bitcoin was a prototype? It was never Bitcoin. Well, today, you don't have to take just my word for it, because I've got a video that you're going to find quite interesting, and here we go. This woman's name is Catherine Austin Fitz, and she is no dummy.
I've always assumed that Bitcoin was a prototype. The thing to understand about the central bankers and the group of people, not so much the central bankers, but the people who own them, is they are very disciplined about prototyping. When they want to try something new, they generate lots of different experiments. Because of the monetary policy, they ran the risks of inflation. So the question is, how can we suck a huge amount of money into non-real assets? They're accumulating land, they're accumulating gold after they came out of the financial crisis, and we're steadily moving money, I believe, out of the fixed income markets, trying to buy up the real assets. So how do you keep the retail market away from competing with you to buy up the real assets? Well, if you can get them off in Bitcoin and the cryptos, you're just creating an asset out of thin air, right? Yes. I mean, it's energy expensive, but it's thin air. So it's much easier. It was extremely important to manage and manipulate the gold market, because gold's like the smoke alarm, so you want to keep the smoke alarm from going off.
Boy, she is right over the target. I said this a long time ago. This Bitcoin thing was not created by some fictional character. It was created by people who knew that when the financial crisis of 2018, when they bailed out all their friends, they knew that the danger was that all of the people would hit the exits to the one thing they did not want them to hit the exits to, which is physical gold and silver. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pops up this Bitcoin thing, and it's written in the code to make it look like a libertarian movement, okay? They wrote in the code something about the bailouts and how that's why I did this or whatever. And that was to create this. It was the ultimate plan. Get people to say, hey, yeah, Bitcoin, yeah. And we're going to go into send the money into, instead of sending it into gold and silver, where the central banks have been putting their money for the last 10 years, you would create a drop gold campaign and, put it all in Bitcoin. Meanwhile, these guys are scooping up all of the real world assets. And meanwhile, they're creating the technologies that are the actual ones that are going to be used. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin is not going to be an investment going into the future. But what I am saying is that it never was the one. That is a lie. It's always been a lie. Ethereum proof of work has always been a lie. It has never been the one. XRP and XLM is where you need to have your eyes on. The two that have been ignored, the two that have been attacked, the two that have been there and have always worked. They do everything that you need a digital currency to do. Better, faster, less expensive than everything else. But they're ignored and attacked and everything else because that's not where the powers that be wanted to focus. Well, listen to part 2 of this. It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
If you can get everybody out of gold and into Bitcoin, it gives you a much more long ramp to sort of accumulate all the real assets without anybody figuring out.
And then what do you think they'll...
You mean real assets like land, real estate, Bitcoin, gold, and the digital assets that are going to run the digital space, XRP, XLM? That's what I think she means.
Run up and then crash it, or just kind of let it run parallel?
So I think Bitcoin's been pumping and dumping, so think of it as in a bull market, you pump and dump your way up. Because remember, the people transacting make the most money from volatility. Remember, if you're going to build your control system, then you need to build a system of central bank digital currencies. And you don't want to do that until you've had sufficient prototyping, but you've also made digital currency fashionable. Okay? And to do that, you can go out and hire all the top developers in the world. But if you just persuade them they can make lots of money and be free if they do it themselves, and you make it very fun and innovative like the Wild West, they all jump in and they figure and prototype all these things for you. So it's the platform, then you build your central bank digital currency system, which now they're working on rolling out. Once you kind of gotten different aspects of the blockchain and the energy use figured out.
I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that Bitcoin and Ethereum and proof of work are the biggest financial head fakes in the history of the financial world. Thanks.